Okay, dookie. Here we go again. So, this time I posted a tiny chat preface video to this one to see if anyone shows up. I'm just going to be painting a few things for a little while, and I don't know, hopefully I make some progress on it. I'm not really certain. I mean, yeah, certainly there'll be a little bit. Provided a bullet doesn't slap me in the back of the noggin, I shall be alive. Still no one in the room. Still no one in the room, oh my. Okay, let's see what I can do here. There we go. Anyway, I keep wanting to talk about kind of my difference with Derrida is that I don't believe that language is the limit. I believe that that there's a greater limit than language, that language has a difficult time wrapping itself around, and I shouldn't say for descriptive in descriptive manners, but in conceptual manners. A reformatting a type of universal consciousness. It's where the imagination butts up against conceptualization. That's the state where witchiness begins. It's a place where synchronistically matters take themselves into their own account. Agency becomes aware of you, but you've been caught with your hand in the proverbial cookie jar. All this because you have never been caught in Never Never Land. Nope, never been caught in Never Never Land. Here we go. Let's start painting. Let's get some painting done. Maybe I should put her up here. There we go. And it's going to be basically just red colors today. I have to really build myself up for this. But here we go. It's the first step into the hell, really, besides the main character. And I realized if I'm going to paint this thing, that means I've got to paint it. I mean, I want to paint it, but sometimes I get so sidetracked that, I don't let myself get back here and put the hand in the paint and put the paint into the canvas on the canvas wall. I was listening to some Pyyrho video today, and he was criticizing somebody for saying that the soul traditionally, maybe he said spirit, I think he said spirit, that spirit is traditionally an embodied concept, and that's historical. And he was admonishing somebody who made a comment, I guess suggesting otherwise. And I thought, why not, why not suggest that the soul comes from a singular, or only stems from the animation that is the biology about it. But a belief in that, he's almost, Pyyrho was almost arguing that the belief in a non-transcendental soul came prior to the belief in spirit within the body. And I used to, as an atheist, I used to take it, that it must have always meant the animation within the biology is the spirit. And then when I lost my atheism, it became notable to me to open my mind up to considerations that the very fabric of our physical universe is conceptual. It's that the conceptual mind dominates even over the biological mind as long as it's present. Let's see. I just want to fill in color here. But I don't want to get caught on, a stony baloney definition of the body and get into anything about that. But I was thinking when Pyyrho said that about Akhenaten and Akhenaten singularized monotheism, or he institutionalized monotheism, where there was polytheism in Egypt and in ancient India well prior to monotheism. I mean, every subculture and every group that landed in these metropolises must have added their new god to the pharmacopoeia of gods, and they meshed into a single view of many gods. That's what I was thinking. Let me know in the comments below. Let's see. I'm wearing if there's any interpreters in the audience, I'd like to know what he said. Yeah, progress. Idea of making progress. I was thinking about mimicking and how people mimic other people. Monkey see, monkey do. And I think memes kind of work that way too. They kind of work in a bullying fashion. People get bowled over by memes. Did you know that because I don't play video games that I'm missing out on a whole culture within a culture? That's pretty sad. Never invested in a machine. But that was due to angst. It was due to angst of missing a job in the computer animation world. Partially what turned me on to Pyyrho in the first place is that he was doing some game programming. Woohoo! Let's see, what else do we have in here? Big red nose over here. I'm gonna do it. Which is okay. In retrospect, I took the low road, but it's, it's coming up. Definitely took the low road, took the road less traveled, and it's increased my spiritual outlook to the point where I would say that one should keep themselves open to the possibility that they are in a different location than behind the eyes. Peering in, living in, kind of in a video game metaphor. I mean, I imagine people imagine that all the time, daily, as they're playing video games. Oh, around the corner and up the top, buzzing away, filling in a big clown nose. Yaboo! I like how I set up and just open up a random tiny chat window and assume I'm gonna get some people coming in. Yeah, so, what else is on my mind? Okay, so one of these was going to be red, partially. Red fish, red dice, red fire. Oh, yeah, of course. Let's move this guy down here. Get a hard, cold look at Destiny. Here's our little Satan. Satan's definitely going to be red. All Satans are red. Pretty easy listening, Satan. Everything's kind of a little charming. You know, not all tossed up, tethered up, textured skin. Just kind of a, almost like Satan is a handsome fellow. Just happens to be in control of the most hellish place on the planet. Hell. Hell itself. Hell itself. So, I was thinking a bit about Pyyrho's daughter dying, and oh, I gotta check something. I'm kind of guessing maybe I never published the tiny chat video. La 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 la. Nope, I never did. Uh-oh. No, I did. I did. Right on. Okay. Just shows no one's seen it. Alright. So, what would I say to my future niece? I'd say that she has been, unfortunately, psychologically conditioned to view me in a particular limelight, which is her mother's limelight, which is different than how I actually am, different than, you know, the actual presences of my occasion. And so that really pisses me off. That pisses me off because there is, I don't know, not as much time spent in formative years I don't know. Just upset at the lack of time there is in the world, and who's divvying out the sharing moments. Who's stopping relationships from occurring. Yeah, man, yeah. Jam on it. Well, that's about all I wanted to do tonight. I don't know why that's funny. It's not funny. So why am I laughing? I'm laughing because I'm a lonely man in a house and I find ridiculously trivial shit happy and funny now. I just can't figure out, I can't be decisive about certain colors right now. It's gonna be a bit bitter. I do a video for 15 minutes and decide to open a tiny chat room. That's kind of messed up. Oh, gotta do my carb. Anyway, so I was thinking about Pyyrho's daughter passing away, and I hope he doesn't mind me airing these concerns, but I really think how one views the finitude of existence or immortality plays a pivotal role in how one copes or compensates for a loss of a child or just a loss in general. But I don't know. I've seen some people become very, very religious and very attached to their gods when they lost a child. Even to the point where they didn't care about much of anything. They slowly became very apathetic about certain aspects of their life. It's like they had to become apathetic to it. Just so they could spend more time in their heads thinking about what it is that it isn't. And I say this not, from first-hand experience by any means, but I know what it's like to have really loved and lost and even been, partially at hand for the loss. And it's like having an organism and its love surrounding you all of a sudden, being gone and being gone forever, to not return. And so I make metaphor off of losing a romantic love, assuming that because she is still present and living, that I get to consider her soul as alive, just somewhere else with someone else. And I don't know. It's kind of, I suppose it's not the same thing, but my point in bringing any of this up was not to make it a topic so much as to theorize about how this loss will express itself through Pyyrho slowly over time. So hope you're okay with me talking this way, Earl. Okay, I'm gonna do some wings. because Pyyrho, Pyyrho doesn't believe in an afterlife or an immortal soul. So, he's in the atheist camp, and yet all I can say about that is that there's a condition of not knowing all possible variables in the universe. If you're a true skeptic, as I think, perhaps I'm wrong in assuming an entire purity of atheism, that you might have a huge agnosticism, because you are so skeptical, that you might be open not to necessarily other theological dogmas, because none of it brings her back. Well, that's not true. If you believe in an immortal soul, then somewhere in another dimension you can catch up with that immortal soul and be with them again. Now, from my camp, I'm open to the ideas. I don't necessarily believe it, but I'm probably the most open person that I know. I don't know. There's a few people on YouTube that are just amazing, incredibly open with their spiritual considerations and so forth. Yeah. Well, just gonna paint more reds in the angel up above, but I guess I gotta hold off on that for the time being. Anyway, I don't want to sound like a preacher to a Sunday school class either. It's just that Pyyrho's the resident father who's, recently lost a child. And, I don't know, has another child that he's got to, make certain her conceptions of the world as she's an adult are still well cared for, and not fully leave her to her own devices, because we know as adults we can influence one another heavily, and that's very important. Oh yeah, oh yeah, baby, oh yes, baby. Oh, tomatoes. Tomatoes are red. They're a different color red. Come on. Come on, kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. I don't know, Pyyrho. If I don't know if you're open. I mean, you are obviously open to talking about your situation and your emotions, and the more you speak about spirit on here has me intrigued. Because, to be honest, I go through a hell of a time with anxiety at times, and I'm not always certain how to cope with it. I guess I sleep it off. It's the most real thing. God, I could default so many things to red, just because I can, just because it's there. But I don't know what color the sand is going to be just yet. All the sand in hell. Okay, I'll come down here and paint this tongue red. Tongues are red. I think it might even be red. I guess more of what I would tell my niece is to, move really slowly. Move super slowly in her young adulthood. Be very wary, don't get involved with people too quickly. Don't, just because your mom rushed into love doesn't mean, you should donate your life as, a 15-year-old like your mother to parenthood. I mean, it could be a blessing. It worked out for her in the long run, but it doesn't mean it's the only path to take in life, and certainly don't take a path like I've taken in life. Oh, kit. Look at this. Look at this, everybody. It's a Kit. What a good little Kit. My lily puppy. Lily puppy, look at the camera. Look up. Oh, Lily. She wants to be so affectionate whenever I'm on, crowding my attention towards the painting. So she comes by, but otherwise she stays away. But she's pretty good at staying away from the computer. But one slight step, and this video is ruined. It's gone. It's done. It's out of here. One slight step. And who gives a shit about what it is I'm saying? But okay, little. Bad belly shot. Go. What else should I be painting red here? There's still certain rules about conduct that you're supposed to follow to, ingratiate your YouTube audience to, have a huge gravity towards the general public that has access to your videos. And I believe that comedy and humor is first and foremost as the recipe for YouTube success. And unfortunately, I do not have a sense of humor. I was not born with one. I do not have one. I rarely laugh, and I'm rarely surprised at people who also do not laugh. Come on, baby. Come on, baby, get red. I'm reading you. I'm reading you, baby. You're red. I've read everything about you. I've read about your moves, and your skirt, and your legs. Now I'm painting you red, because you're red. My native, inhabitant here. You know, if you haven't seen Todd Score's work, you should really check out Todd Score. Of course, I'm going to do a video of my favorite artists, my most influential artists, and my art friends. You know, hopefully before I'm dead. So within a couple of days, maybe. I don't know, maybe within a month or a week, or I'm waiting for something to come down the pipe before I really open up with my thoughts. So yeah, a fear of hell as something run by somebody that's primitive, foreign, that you don't understand, that has plenty of malcontent for you, has fangs. It's a predator of sorts. Something that moves against modernity and the relaxation that we have, the lack of fear that we have of the primitive. But if you're faced square to square with it, how do you behave? 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 Okay, so hair color. I was thinking about red, but I might do pink. Do 666. Well, I'm very disappointed. My room's been open for, you know, 30 minutes and there's nothing there. So, I don't know. I don't know if I should publish this video. You know, I mean, what's the point? What's the point in publishing this video? It's humorless. Well, it's not rude. Maybe what I'll do is I'll privatize it first, let Pyyrho watch it, and then I'll see whether or not he's okay with me making it public. That seems like the best thing to do. So I will attempt to do that, unless of course I change my mind and just make it public. Pyyrho probably wouldn't mind that anyway. Oh, look at the kitty, oh little kitty. I'm gonna keep my viewers from looking at you, you cuddly woodly. Amanda made a video and it was kind of a very straightforward kind of message like he normally has, but this one I normally don't like or unlike his videos, but occasionally I'll dislike a video, and this one I just had to like. Anyway, maybe I should find that. Maybe there's some gems in there. But basically he's trying to get beardy old man modern mystic to join a chat room, and excuse me one moment. That's great. Okay. I've had one click on my last video since I posted it 34 minutes ago. Oh, I'm missing a spot of my guy to paint his tail. He's trying to think of what the color of death should be, and I mean, of course, death is black, and I gotta keep them black, which is kind of a bummer, because a neon green death sounds kind of interesting to me. Okay, how do I solve that? Shit. That's what I get for juggling a computer and a paintbrush. Went outside the lines. I walk alone and I walk up my shadow. I was listening to that song today. My shadow's the only one that walks besides me. I've been listening to Green Day and I really like the lyrics. But this idea of plurality and monism, I believe that deconstructed falls into plurality, because there's always another, and as soon as you outline them, then they are the next other, and their otherliness. Therefore, we walk together. We walk alone in our own headspace, but we walk together with everybody else. We interact and affect everybody else. Maybe that's where I need to paint red. Orange at least. Ugh. Anyway, boy, maybe I'm already done with painting. Okay. Okay, well, that was fast and joyous. Let me do that. Just delete. Okay. Here's the Pyyrho video. Since we're on Pyyrho, maybe I'll focus on Pyyrho.
All right. Many of you are confused about this, and one commenter in particular has told me that spirit and spirituality, that they mean metaphysics, they mean things, ghosts and the spirit and soul, separate and dualism. That's what they mean. That's what they mean. I say no, the term has been co-opted into that. And originally, the term means what gives life its animated character as opposed to dead things. And as a theory of what that might be, it was a substance that that the body was imbued with when it was alive, that left the body when it was not alive. And the idea that it kept existing after it went away, that's just a later theory. Okay, originally the word spirit has to do with what a person has that a rock doesn't.
Okay, so he's saying that the idea of the immortal soul is a secondary theory to the idea of an embodied soul. And I don't know. Is that an arguable? I mean, that I guess one could argue otherwise. I have an instinct to argue otherwise. But who knows? Who knows? And oh well, I mean, who knows about the theory? I don't know. But Pyyrho later goes on to admonish the guy for not knowing. Wow, how could I repeat myself 40 minutes in? Oh, diggity, oh, diggity. He was a wheelie sort. Oh, diggity, oh, diggity. Trying to dance like Earl. Boy, when I think of Earl, out there in the woods, drinking his 40 ounces, telling his stories, I think, and some reason he's got all these negative downvotes. I just really wonder what is that? Why does he have so much hate going on? know what I'm doing to you guys, just in case you didn't know. I'm trying to drag you along in my day-to-day habits here. I put mayo on Chinese food along with hot sauce. It's pretty amazing stuff. Anyway, so it's about Pyyrho, it's about Earl, it's about my niece, I guess. I mean, my niece, yeah, she's a young one. She's going on 11. I have no idea, as her uncle, what kind of advice to give her, other than to move super slowly through things. Like, be really overly considerate about everything that she does. But I might be premature by a few years. But I guess I'd tell her that I love her as a person. She's been wonderful to know her whole life. My parents just got back from, they live about 25 miles from me. And they just got back from seeing my dad's sister, who's 86 and quite frail. But I can't say, even though she's dropped gems, my aunt has dropped gems to me in the past. Somehow they, gems of information or memes, somehow they didn't necessarily correlate with my life and what was going on in my existence any more than I could say that I correlate with Pyyrho's existence. So, yeah, Mendham calls Beardy Man out to join a live chat room. And immediately I'm thinking, I've got to open a live chat room. Who knows will pop in. And in this case, I didn't get anyone to pop in, so I just deleted it. What a bummer, man. Yeah, if I was consistent. Can you guys smell that? Can you? Smell my finger? Durr, durr, durr. Durr is the sound of screeching out and always fucking something up. Never saying the right thing at the right time. Always doing something that's off base with your audience. Well, okay, so now that I'm more focused on eating and on the YouTube video, I'm just going to drag out the slaves, my slaves in my audience that'll listen to me say anything or do nothing. God, I gotta go grocery shopping. there's a YouTuber named Bitter Poet Man who just kind of stands in front of the camera with a can of beer while he's drinking, not unlike Earl, and tells a story. But I don't know, Earl's stories are more engaging, I think. They're more meaningful in general. See, Pyyrho and I have that in common. Yeah, God, if I was Pyyrho, I would really be concerned about how my daughter was taking the death of her sister. Like, that would be one of the forefronts of my mind. I'm sure it is in his mind, but I don't know. I'm always curious to see if Pyyrho exposes more about himself. I gotta save the rest of that. It's like a cherry on a dessert. You just want to come home to and gnaw in that big fat cherry on the dessert. That's what this Chinese food is like. All right, well, it was a paint in philosophy. I can't be dragging you guys through my hour-long videos saying nothing particular. What is that? I was thinking about nominal information. I'm hanging up now. Okay, thanks for joining.